Next up, we have Stephen Tanzi sharing, you should make a website.
Hello, my name is Stephen Tanzi, and my background's in tech, but most notably, recently, I've hand-coded my own website. I think most people should have their own website, though I don't think you need to go quite as far as hand-coding it. But you might be wondering, well, why do I need a website? Well, social media doesn't last forever. MySpace was dead in 2011, though I was in high school at that point, and I can tell you it was long dead before that. Google Plus never got off the ground, and a personal favorite of mine, Co-Host, only lasted for about 2 years. We live in a digital age where, kind of through no fault of your own, you might not want to be on a website anymore. So your account can be banned, you can have people leave the website you're on, and without an alternative like your own website, people who are trying to follow you or trying to stay in touch might not have the ability to do so anymore. Now, even if you're not a business, I still think having a personal website is very useful. For me, it's provided a lot of opportunity to make connections and community, which we've spoken a little bit about here tonight anyways. We also see, at least in my perspective, a lot of people turning away from traditional social media due to how bad the algorithms have gotten and how much they kind of feed on hate and anger. This is an example from my own website. You can see that this PowerPoint has been designed similar to it. That's by design. This is the home page. It's nothing too special, but it just needs to be welcoming and let people come in and see the site. Next, we're going to be looking at some examples from my website, some pages that I'm particularly proud of. You're going to see one that looks like a corkboard, where you'd put thumbtacks and notes up. That's how I make updates to my site. I let people know, hey, I've made these changes. The next one I try to make look like an old computer terminal. It's kind of where I post all the archive of everything I've ever posted, so you can go back and see everything I've made. We're going to look at some other examples from around the web. This website is dedicated to the world's longest burning light bulb. It's been burning since 1901, and it's in a firehouse in California. And they have a webcam, so you can watch the longest burning light bulb in the world. We have another site coming up here that someone made dedicated to shoelaces. Anything you would want to know about a shoelace, how to tie them, the different styles, it's all right here. And I personally love seeing stuff like this on the internet because I think you really get to see the passion someone has for something, more so than you'd see on a Facebook page or an Instagram page or whatever. Now, not only do you have sites like this, I think it's also really cool to see what people can design. I personally really like how this person designed their personal website. And what's really cool about making your own website is you can inspect the page and see how they did it. So you can draw inspiration from other creative people if you find something you like and you want to emulate for yourself. So now that you want to have a website, the question is how? You have some options. You have website builders such as WordPress, Squarespace, and Wix. These are going to be easier to get into, but are a bit more constrictive with what you can do. WordPress and Squarespace in particular, I've seen a lot in professional settings, but there's plenty of website builders out there. If you want to go the route I did, you can also hand code your own site. Some examples are NeoCities, NicoWeb, and BearBlog, with BearBlog being easier because you just have to learn Markdown, which is a bit easier than some of the other coding languages. Now, hand coding, you tend to have more flexibility for what you can do, but you have to know how to do it. The languages for websites are HTML and CSS. HTML is what's on the page itself. CSS says how HTML should look. JavaScript is up there. It's a coding language. You need it for fancy stuff, but for a basic website, you can basically ignore it. Now, the other thing with websites is costs. Now, hand coding a site tends to be cheaper, but that's because you're doing most of the stuff yourself. For my NeoCities website, I pay about $5 a month. When I was on WordPress, it was about $20 per month. There are often, though, free versions of these website builders out there, so you can try them before you ever actually pay for anything. The other area cost comes in is for a domain name. Again, most of these places offer free versions. So on NeoCities, I could have tanzimedia.neocities.com. But if I pay for it, I can just have tanzimedia.com. Domains change on price depending on how popular they are or how wanted they are. But the one I pay for is like $20 a year. It's not terrible. Now, how you actually stay connected with people is with RSS feeds. RSS feeds have been around for a long time. It's how podcasts work. Basically, an RSS feed is just a list a computer can reference, and when there's updates to that list, the RSS feed reader or your podcast app will show you the updates, the new episodes, the new blog posts, whatever you want. This is a great comic about how RSS feeds work. I'm not going to go over it right now, but if you ever watch back this video, you can pause here and you can take a look at this wonderful comic this person made. It goes over how to use a popular RSS feed reader called Feedly and how you would add RSS feeds to the reader. So that kind of brings me to how you would actually interact with RSS feeds, and it's with a reader. You would find an RSS feed you want, put it in a reader, and they would display it for you as updates are made. Some popular ones are Feedly and the old reader. Fresh RSS, if you're techie, you can self-host, which is what I do, but Feedly and the old reader are online, real easy to get started. They make it really simple to start. This is what an RSS feed reader would look like. This is my Fresh RSS instance. You can see any recent posts kind of show up in the middle there. In this example, I've selected the post I made about my wedding from last year. And you could see that you could go through and you could read about that post if you wanted to. Now, one thing I want to touch upon before I leave is if you're a restaurant and you have a website, I want to know two things when I get to your website. I want to know hours and I want to know menu. The Garlic is a great example of this because they have their hours and menu online, but they don't update it. So if they're closed, you would never be able to tell from their website. So keeping your website up to date is also very important. And with that, thank you so much. I look forward to finding more of your websites to visit, and have a good one.